It's 2 people, whereas before tracks we've seen where with Echo playstyle it's like 3 people onto 1 if they want to engage. So now I think drastically like lack of synergy coming out from Echo Loud tonight.
I think maybe also a little bit of like maybe they underestimated their opponents here, because it felt like they kept wanting to be the aggressors. They were never the reactors. It felt like they were starting a lot of those fights, and JP was waiting for that. Right now it feels like Echo Proud kind of has Echo Loud's number a bit. They know how they play. They know what they want to do, and they're just waiting for Echo Loud to make those plays, make those quick movements, and they have the instant counter to it, the instant counter attack in those team fights. So this time I think Echo Loud needs to switch things up a little bit, maybe play all of this a little bit differently.
Oh, here we go. The Franco ban. And it's like a mutual respect Kaja ban, the double suppression ban away from the map. So now it's just engage and disengage, right? So are we gonna see a huge engage pick and then diggy pick, or it's gonna be a double aggression engage? Again, this is brothers. This team train against each other day in, day out. Oh, one more time, the Eve ban and Fredrin ban. This is the standard bans from the last game, right? Except for, with the exception of the Franco. So Echo Proud definitely come in. Even though last game I leaned towards Echo Loud's draft, and then turned out Echo Proud had a plan, and they played with momentum a few times. You can say that JP got lucky. You can just say that, or Echo Loud was just like off sync a little bit. It was 2 versus a Franco, and it just barely missed the kill. But nonetheless, I mean, this game, let's see. First pick, Claude. What do you think about that, Trex?
I mean, like I said to you, the Claude has been something very, very valuable. Over here in NA, it seems like it hasn't quite caught completely yet, but the Claude has been like the gold laner. It is currently the goal lane, especially with some of the tanky EXP lanes that are popular. The Uranus has gotten popular. A lot of other tankier heroes have gotten even tankier because of the way you can use the emblems now to sustain. So he just works very well. He also has mobility. Pretty much you get all the things you used to have with Claude, but you get a little bit more sustainability in the early game. You're able to move around a bit more, and you don't have to ever go back for mana at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we have the standard picks again coming out from Echo Loud. Valentina and Kufra. This is the same draft from last game. Valentina and Kufra, first, second pick. Oh, we're talking about engage on engage, aggression on aggression, violence on violence, momentum on momentum. This is it, Trex. You have Kufra and Minotaur. Now the thing about Minotaur is when Minotaur uses ultimate, he becomes immune to quad control. So it's like it's a good way to counter Kufra, in a sense, right? Because it's just like Million Fury, knock up mini. But now remember, the ultimate can be copied by Valentina. So, and it's big ultimates. So when they pick stuff like this, you gotta, think about what. But Valentina's Valentina, right? There's not too many counters against it, especially on top of the fact that all the suppression are taken away, so you can't really target him. Now this does have really good combos though. You have Minotaur jumping in with a big AoE knockups. With Kadita's combo, right? You don't have to use Petrify anymore. Just go in, big AoE knockup, into a big AoE knockup, into the ultimate, into the rough wave, and it's over. 1-1 being taken out. 1-1 against Claude. I mean, do you think this is this is like one of the OG one-on-ones into the goal lane? But it seems pretty boring because there's not too much going on into the goal lane. But 1-1's gonna have a little bit of advantage because he is gonna take the Inspire.
Yeah, I do feel like, I mean, I definitely think Benny Cutie and and this Claude right here are gonna, there's not gonna be too much happening in the early stages. Where I think the 1-1 is gonna be crucial here, right? Is the fact that you can nullify the CC, right? So if you can bait out that Minoan's Fury, move around, it could become the perfect target, right? If you can bait out this Kadita to try to dive in, use the rough waves, get a little bit caught too deep, Benny Cutie could be very, very crucial here as long as he plays the 1-1 right.
Right. But seeing as with Minonian Fury, it's a 3-stage knockup. So it's like you can bait it out, but this guy also has a flicker. And remember, the thing about Minotaur that many people are kind of like underestimate is the skill 2. When you're in rage form, your skill 2 will heal you every time you take an auto attack. And guess what? Guess who auto attack really fast? Character like 1-1. Right, so if 1-1 ultimate, and her ultimate counts as an auto attack, so you can use skill 2 and get lots of heal back So it's actually really good. And then not only that, like I said, he has a 3-stage knockup with the Minonian Fury. So yeah, one can use a skill to dodge one of them. But like, can you use it to dodge off to the final rage, right? The final knockup. That's gonna be debatable. Oh, here we go. The lock, the Akai, the OG Akai, and the Bane into the game. And obviously Lapu Lapu, the domination, the #1 pick in EXP lane from M4, coming back into Rizla. Trex, what do you think about the draft?
I'm not gonna lie. I like Echo Proud. With that Bane pick, it answers this Terizla with the Deadly Catch. It answers the dive composition that Echo Loud wants to bring. The Deadly Catch is going to be super fearsome. And here's the thing, right? You talked about it before. Is Echo Loud losing some of their momentum that we saw from M4? It feels like they're still picking some of the same picks that we saw back in M4. It feels like they're still picking some of the same picks that we saw in 3 months ago meta, whereas a lot of other teams are willing to experiment, willing to pick up these new things like the Bane, like the Minotaur. And if this works, let me make this very clear. This is match point right here. This is not a best of 5. Yeah. So it does seem like as we jump into match point here, Echo Proud up against Echo Loud. If Echo Proud wins this, they knock Echo Loud down to the lower bracket, the loser's bracket as some might call it. A lot is on the line here, so take us away, Dave.
Cool. But I want to take a moment to follow on the point that you mentioned a little bit earlier, with the big teams missing on the momentum. The thing about that is, like, the established team, the team that's already has success. One thing about that is that there's so much baggage and so much pressure, right? It's okay, we're already winning with this strategy. Are we really gonna change a strategy right now, right? Whereas the lower tier team, like I said, when we see the experiments, it's usually coming from the lower tier teams, because they're not afraid to lose anything, right? There's nothing on the table, not pressure. If they win, it's great. If they lose, it's like, like it's whatever, right? If I win, it's, oh my God, I just beat the tier 1 team. If I lose, there's no pressure. So that's usually those teams who are taking on experiment, trying something new. And because the huge meta shift, the huge meta change, it's frequently those new teams that coming up that's not afraid of to try things going to have the upper edge. And that's exactly what we're talking about. Every time a meta shifts, a meta changes, it's always creates a new king. We've never seen like the same team dominates completely different metas in any mobile game, any strategy game, right? Especially something as competitive as Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
So let's take a talk about some of these neutral objectives and how each team has to approach them, right? I feel like some of the big plays here are going to be the heavy spin from Carl Teasy and the Deadly Catch along with the Minoan's Fury from the side of Echo Proud. Who's going to be able to land these CCs a little bit better? It does look like James on his backside will pop the Raven Spider. Benny Cutie, the offlane takes out Outplay. But aside from that, we're still in the turtle pit. JP able to find Sanford. The Deadly Catch comes out and Zaida secures the first turtle of this game. Huge that Benny Cutie gets that kill up in the top side 1v1.
Yeah, and I want to say that right now Echo Proud is still doing pretty good. They secured a turtle. They got a kill, right? Obviously lost the one-on-one trade on the top side. Otherwise it would have been a one-on-one trade and with the turtle kill. So Stanford is not afraid. You can see James, there's not a second of doubt. Where a lot of teams, when they go against like really strong team like Echo, they become kind of not them, right? Like they're afraid to fight. They're afraid to, even in a winning condition, the winning situation.
It is still putting him a little bit ahead of Outplayed here, which is important. Now you talked about combos earlier. If we want to talk about a wombo combo, Echo Proud definitely has it. You have the Wild Catch, you got the Rough Waves, you got the Minoan's Fury, you got the whole package, the whole meal here, ready to serve to Echo Loud. Echo Loud also kind of has that, but I think a lot of it, once again, is going to Echo Proud.
Oh my God, Trex. Why did JP keep on doing this? Right, he survived yet again with Sliver of Health. I mean, but that was a beautiful wombo combo though, right? Like this is the wombo combo that Echo Loud wanted to pull off last game with their engages, But it seemed like Echo Proud is doing it for them. And it's doing a fantastic job. It's doing knockup upon ult, the Purify on the side of Echo Loud.
You know, in the very beginning, before all these games started, you mentioned identities, Dave. And Echo Loud has always been, I mean, I feel like their identity has been volatility. It's been aggressive. It's been in your face. We can also play slow. They've mastered so many things, but Echo Proud is possibly finally go down. He's still up, pops the flicker, Outplay finds Betty Cootie, and that is a good trade. JP goes down, but that's okay, because Carl Teasy will fall next, and there it is. They have been reacting perfectly.
Oh, Trax in the mid lane, no. It seemed like the trade-off of skills. On the, ooh. Wait, Trax.
Wait a second, Sanji in a bad spot, forced to steal the Headley catch with the IMU just to get away. Sanford in the midst of things, getting some nice damage on a Curteezy here, trying to get the finish. Can he though? Curteezy able to just escape, but Yawi comes in with the Tyrant's Revenge, able to find it. Sanford goes down anyways though to James. They are back and forth right now, blow for blow, and Yawi almost takes a left hook, able to get away though. Benny Cutie with crossbow tame, able to lock onto James there, but can't get the finish. The shield comes in time. Overall, it's 5-4 at 6.5 minutes. Echo Proud holding about a 1,000 gold lead.
You know, I usually don't talk about mechanics, but just now that was such a beautiful mechanic from Outplayed. Played by Outplayed, right? I mean, Outplayed with the Outplay. He
get away, responds, gets knock up the Petrify, the rough waves, and Zaida takes the turtle. Carl Teasy can do nothing but run away with that heavy spin, but they don't want to let it happen. James tries to get the finish, Biawi comes in the nick of time, able to stun him up and allow Carl Teasy to escape with a sliver of health. Sanford coming from the side, but Echo Proud doesn't want to stop. They're going to move on to this tower, finally backing off, but still the aggression is there, Dave.
Whew. I mean, there's not too much. Just now, the turtle fight was pretty standard. Echo Proud had a position, and then they played aggressive, but a little bit disconnect, obviously, you know, because they used the Minute Inferior to delay the turtle. And every time you use that, when you have a separation of skills, you're running into a problem, right? You have to do one thing at a time. You either fight, drop the turtle, or you just do the turtle. But just now there was like disconnects. Panda can just use the ultimate Purify and go back in to try to steal the turtle, which resulted in a lot of wasted skills. So back to what I was trying to say was Outplay. You know, here you go, the exact same situation. JP getting caught. Can he save himself this time?
Yeah, but he's not gonna get away this time. Zaida able to pick up the killing spree on Yawi though. The fight still pursues James, looking for Sanford. Double kill into Zaida's hands. Able to find Sanford. The Crab Claw clan, and with the range is just too much. James trying to lock on to Sanji. Sanji forced to use the IMU just to escape here, and Zaida is relentless on this Bane right now. Carl Teasy can do nothing but run. Sanji coming in, gets terrified, but Zaida pops the recall, showing you that I am not scared.
Oh god, I cannot finish a single analysis. There's too much action going on. And both teams, once they have the momentum, they're not letting it go. But now we have the chance to breathe. Let's recap, you know. First of all, I think this game is such a high mechanically skilled game, right? The Outplay on top side, the reason why he took Purify on against 1-1, initially at 1-1 would have a little bit of advantage because Inspire does give you so much extra damage. But after Claw to finish the core items, right, does have the DHS, he jumped in, did the damage, and then he let 1-1 accumulate the stacks, accumulate the passive, and he used Purify to kill. At this point, I mean, I wouldn't comment too much on macro rotation because both teams are rotating about the same. It's just that Echo Proud is comboing. They're doing everything right with their win condition, right? They're comboing back to back, except for the last turtle fight, because you know, it seems like Minotaur was jumping in all by himself. Here we go. This might be a big profile engage, Rex.
Yeah, lots going to be on Betty Cootie. We haven't seen him get a big crossbow tang off just yet, but JP wants to get one off for himself. It's mayhem in the Lord pit, and the Lord does go to Carl Teasy. It's a beautiful steal. Zaida takes him out, though, and Sanford drops next. Sanji next on the chopping block. That's 4 down in a matter of seconds. Make it 5. Zaida with the triple kill. It's a full team wipeout, and that's not a fair trade in my book for the Lord.
Are they looking to end the game right now? They might be. Thanks.
5 seconds till Yawi comes up. 5 seconds to Carl Teasy, but they got away with minions. They're going to lock on. In comes the deadly catch, and that's it. A 2-0 sweep. Tonight, the little brothers brought the heat. Echo.